Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another episode of Figure News. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the AmiAmi Hobby Camp event, which basically happened at the exact same time as WonHobby and made it very confusing to follow announcements as a result. There was also just other announcements that just slipped through the cracks that could have been featured on Good Smile's gallery page, but just weren't for some reason, so I'm going to talk about some of those first. But yeah, that's all you really need to know. Let's start talking about some figures. We're getting a 1/6 posable figure of Guyver from Max Factory. Normally these figures are 1/12 scale, I believe, or whatever the Figma scale is these days. It's been a while since we've seen a Guyver figure, so I like that they're doing this in a bigger scale, and honestly the joints seem really well hidden, so I'm looking forward to seeing more about this guy. Good Smile Company had a few Nendoroids that weren't in the gallery. First up was the Aurora Suya Nendoroid. Very cute eyes, love her bear. Pretty cute color scheme, but I feel like the colors are a little bit flat on her outfit. I hope it looks better in promotional images. Doki-chan is getting a Nendoroid, but unfortunately it's from Union Creative, which aren't the best company in my opinion. This one still looks pretty cute. I like her first faceplate, and the present is a nice accessory, but I'm just not sure how the rest of this is going to turn out. Zap from Blood Blockade Battlefront is getting a Nendoroid from Chugai Mining. This company seems to only be focusing on the Blood Blockade Battlefront Nendoroids, and last time it was pretty expensive, so I guess this one is also going to be expensive. But from what we're seeing, this does seem to be turning out pretty good. They showed off a Starscream Nendoroid from Transformers, which I think makes this the third Transformers Nendoroid, Optimus Prime and Megatron being the other two. On top of these, we're also getting Mazinger Z and the Great Mazinger as Nendoroids, and I'm liking how these look, even though I don't know much about Mazinger at all. Freeing had two bunny girls that weren't in the gallery. You can see them both in this image actually, but the first up is Black Rock Shooter. Really long legs on this one. Her entire body is just so slim actually. Even the outfit looks like it's barely hanging onto her at the chest. I kind of like that actually. I've always liked the way her eyes were designed, and the fact that one of them has a blue flame is a neat touch for a bunny figure. Also, her hair sculpt is pretty eye-catching here too. I love how asymmetrical it is. Gives this figure a bit more presence despite its slimness. I'm not so sure I like this Kaide bunny from Danganronpa 3 though. Face looks a bit off even if they did capture the eyes correctly. Some of the colors just come across as a bit too dark in these photos too. Could definitely just be a lighting thing though. We'll be seeing, in my opinion, a much better Kaide soon enough in the video anyway, so I'm not too concerned about this one. Alright, let's jump into Phat Company now with the VSK-94 full damage version. Honestly, there's a lot of obvious things we could talk about. Certainly, the crotch area being exposed from the ripped stockings is a neat detail. And the way they sculpted her chest is honestly really nice. The clothes barely hanging on and one of them being lifted up is genuinely great craftsmanship. But honestly, there are a lot of nice other details in this figure. The base looks pretty cool. I like how it's got a jacket on the ground. That's like a completely unnecessary detail. Lots of bullets on the ground. The gun looks good. Her hair has like a nice little snowflake in it. Obviously the rest of her clothes are kind of messed up too. It's a sexy figure, no doubt about that, but there are a lot of things to appreciate outside of that. And I think that's pretty neat. Oh, I didn't think we'd be here so soon, but here we have the other Kaide figure, joined along by Monokuma. Been waiting a long time to see this one painted, and I think it's turning out pretty great so far. Just like the other Danganronpa figures, Phat Company nails the bases. I love how they incorporate her ultimate talent into the figure. All the music sheets flying around are well positioned, and even the piano keys actually being pressed down just show a good attention to detail. Of course she looks cute too, face and pose are on point, and even Monokuma looks great as a conductor. I think this one is a no-brainer if you're a fan of the series. So here we have Noelle from Hololive. Honestly, I feel like her face looks really off here, and that's making me not like the rest of the figure. Technically, her body and the mace look great. Everything about the figure, besides her face, is good, but I think the face looks so off to me that I can't get behind this one. I hope they fix it. I hope it looks better colored. I hope something changes my opinion the next time I see this. Alright, moving on to some art cards. First up is Ryza and Claudia from Ryza 2 in Chinese dress outfits. While I think putting figures in Chinese dresses is getting a little overplayed at this point, I do like that Ryza has bun hair. Definitely a sucker for bun hair. I think this one will look cute when it's done, but since it's two characters, it's going to be really expensive, so let's wait and see how this turns out. Next up, M82A1 is getting a figure from Girls Frontline. They're also making two Fate Grand Order figures. This first one, I'm not even sure exactly what I'm looking at. Not sure if this is like a demon girl or a dragon girl. It's got these huge wings, these giant weapons, and there's weird shadowy hand parts reaching towards her like crotch and chest. I don't know what that's about. Very interesting design though. And the other Fate announcement was Barghest. Again, I don't really know much about this character, but I definitely like her design more. Certainly seems like she could kill me with those dyes. I like that. And finally from Phat, we're getting a Pretty Derby Nice Nature scale figure. We're jumping over to Kadokawa now. They had a lot of bikini figures to show, and then a whole lot of art cards. Honestly, they might have had the most announcements. First up are 2 Shield Hero figures, Philo and Raphtalia. Now, Philo is actually painted. We get to see that she's in a really cute pink swimsuit. Really like the color schemes on this one. They just match really well with her hair and the wings behind her even. Very cheerful, playful pose. Raphtalia also looks good, but again, we don't really get to see that much because she isn't painted. They both seem to be going for the same base motif on the beach, making a splash. In fact, I think we're going to see that in the next figures. So yeah, these 2 Sally and Mabel figures from I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense, are getting very similar swimsuit figures. Honestly, I feel like these would all match up very well with each other. Continuing the trend, we're also getting 2 Nekopara figures, Chocola and Vanilla in their swimsuits. Now, I think these 2 are actually holding hands. It's a little hard to see from this photo, but I think that's the case. Regardless, their base is also fully connected this time, though I think that might just be a prototype thing. I'm pretty sure you would buy these 2 separately and then put them together. Next up is Roxanne from A Harem in a Fantasy World Labyrinth. Really not too sure what to say about this one. I have no idea what this series is, nor do I know the character, and whatever she's holding is sort of blocking whatever outfit she's wearing. Seems to be some sort of transparent clothing, but that's about all I can really see, so I guess I'm just gonna move on. Moving away from swimsuits, we're getting a Toka date version figure, as well as a Kurumi date figure. They're also making Rem and Ram Birthday 2021 figures. Now, while I'm not going to say we need more Rem and Ram, I do like their outfits, I like the color scheme, and honestly, I do like it when these companies make Rem and Ram based off of their light novel art. I definitely like that art more than the anime art. Not that the anime art is bad, I just think the light novel is much more unique and cute looking. There was also this Arms Note girl, this powered bunny figure. They showed it off here as like an acrylic piece, but then they actually showed off part of the prototype on Twitter. So if we take a look at that, we can see a bit more of her detail. Not that we get so much to go by, but you can see that there's a lot of skin indentation on this one. Very appealing from the backside. Certainly looks pretty good from this angle. But yeah, not too much else to go by. We'll hopefully see the rest of this figure pretty soon. There was actually another Roxanne figure they showed off. This time she's wearing a dress and holding it up. And I'm gonna say I think this figure will highly be dependent on how well they sculpt the actual dress. If they mess that up, I don't think this will look nice at all. But if they nail it, it could look really cute. There were a few figures from a couple of cuckoos. The first one was the Amano Erika Bunny Girl figure. Not too much to say about this. As always, bunny girls are just in their bunny outfits, though I do like the heart she's holding, and honestly her face does look pretty cute. They're also making bunny girl figures of Umino Sachi, as well as Sagawa Hiro. Ilya is getting a wedding dress figure. Now, I think the thing to highlight here is her veil. I love how long it is, and I think that definitely makes it feel more like an actual wedding figure than a lot of the other wedding figures we get. It just feels more natural, more elegant. I like that. And from the same series, we're getting a Pandora wedding version, and this one stands out just because she's wearing a black outfit. It's a pretty similar dress, not exactly the same, but it does have that really long veil. But just because it's black, it's gonna really stand out among every other wedding figure I've seen. As far as I'm aware, we really don't get wedding figures in a black dress, normally because that isn't really what you would wear to a wedding. But either way, very interesting, very different. We're getting 2 figures from Made in Abyss. The first is another Nanachi, which is nice to see, as well as a Faputa, who I don't really know. I think she's from the new season, which isn't out yet, and I don't read the manga. This character has a really weird, unique design. Obviously, you just look at it, and it's not really like any other anime character you've seen before. So this figure, at the very least, is going to stand out among the rest for just being that kind of crazy design. And then finally from Kadokawa, we're getting another Majiro McQueen figure. Now we're going to be talking about a few Wonderful Works announcements. So this is Ryza and Claudia negligee version. Basically, these two are wearing like fancy nightgowns. Now, I don't really like the way Ryza's face looks right now. I think Claudia looks pretty good. Overall though, their body sculpts look good. Most of it does look cute. I am interested to see the final product, but I know I'm not going to buy this. It's just not really something I need in my collection. Next up is another 2-for-1, this time How Not to Summon a Demon Lord's Rem and Shira. This one is definitely much more lewd. If you're a big fan of feet, this is definitely the figure for you. Also, there's a lot of ass in this figure as well. Really, it seems like they're appealing to everybody with this figure. Got another swimsuit figure here, but hey, at least this time she's in a one-piece swimsuit while still looking sexy. Really love the way they sculpted her hair around her arm, and that strap mid-pull, yeah, that's good stuff. Also, she's got a little octopus friend on her, that's cute. More swimsuits, it never ends. This one has a really nice body though. It's just an art card, but I'm going to appreciate that art card, especially the thighs. Another girl's frontline figure. This one is in a really nice see-through dress, so it's going to be just as lewd as the last few, but it'll probably look very good as well. And I thought there was more for Wonderful Works, but that's actually it. Okay, so I'm moving on to Amakuni, and that means that we're going to keep talking about very lewd, sexy figures. First up is Javelin, and we really get to see all of her body in this one photo. It looks really nice. Not exactly sure what that weapon is. Is that a javelin? It doesn't really look like a javelin I've ever seen. But yeah, you get this really cool weapon. You get a really curvy anime girl. Her hair looks great. The colors look great. Honestly, I think this one looks really nice, even though I'm probably not gonna get it. Alright, so next up is Asanagi art. I wasn't even sure if I should show this one, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There's two versions to this actually, a soft skin version and a glossy version, so whichever one you prefer. Obviously, I think the proportions on this figure speak for itself. You know what you're getting into. If you want my opinion on this one, I feel like it didn't translate too well from 2D to 3D. I definitely have seen much better Asanagi figures in the past, but I don't think this looks bad. I think her hair looks good. I really like her eye color. I think there are things to like about it. There are definitely some obvious things to like about it, so go for it if you like it. Okay, so this one's name is Long Range Chan, which is really funny to me. But otherwise, I do kind of like it. I like her tights. I like the pose she's making. I don't really think I've seen a lot of figures hold her leg up like that, so I think that gives it a bit of a unique factor to it. And it comes with a cool gun and a little robot. I think there's a lot to like about this. Okay, so this next one took me off guard. I really like this. I don't know who this character is. It's Minky from Jigoku Sensei Nube. I know that's a Shonen Jump series from like the 90s or something. But her design is just really appealing to me. For one, I just like how 90s it looks. It really does look like a relic from the past. But besides that, I like her armor. You know, the lack of armor by her crotch, sure. But I like the boots. I like the one demon claw. Her bra, if you could even call it that, looks really interesting as well. And she's got these demon horns and the cute pink hair. If the price is right, I might actually get this. Fnex had some figures to show off at the event. Two of them were Amelia and Echidna in Chinese dresses. I think they looked okay. Not a big fan of the clouds they're standing on though, but the outfits look pretty good. Then we got two figures from Assault Lily Bouquet, and honestly, I think these look really bad. Like, I don't think these look worth any amount of money unless they were prize figures. I'm really unimpressed by the shading, the coloring, the poses look boring, and the faces look dull. Overall, just not something I would ever buy. See, it's so weird, right? Because we went from those two to this Arknights figure, which genuinely does look pretty good. Her weapon looks really cool. Her outfit looks greatly sculpted. I think this one will look pretty solid once it's finally painted. Though since it's Fnex, they'll probably ask for way too much money. But I guess we'll see. And then to wrap it up for Fnex, we got two art cards from Princess Connect Redive. One for Kokoro and one for Carol. And then finally, another Kurumi. It wouldn't be the same without more Kurumi. So now we're moving on to Aniplex. I don't think this was at AmiAmi Hobby Camp or WonHobby. I think this was just their own event. But anyway, let's jump into the first, Nezuko in her demon form. Now, I watched season 2, fucking loved it, amazing season. But I'm not sure why she's posed like this. I don't know if this is like a spoiler for ahead of time. But I don't know why they put her in this kind of pose. She was kind of just destroying shit. She was really angry. But this figure kind of just makes her look like a dainty little anime girl, like she's innocent and cute. And I mean, normal Nezuko is innocent and cute, but I don't really feel like this figure should be. I don't really know why they went with this pose, but I guess it'll look fine when it's painted. Alright, this one's really cool. Gyutaro and Daki together in one figure. This is basically just a shot taken straight from the anime or manga. I really love that they're making something like this. Hope it looks even better once it's painted. I really want to see more of it. Next up, Azui is also getting a figure, though I don't like this one as much. I feel like I've seen a better figure of Azui before, though I don't remember which company is making it. I just think the face looks a little off on this one. The pose is cool though. I think everything about the way his body is sculpted looks good. Really just comes down to the face, and I guess it could be a little more exciting for a character like this. I'm honestly really liking the Saber figure so far. I think the robe makes it and the crown. I just like those details on Saber. It's not something we see a ton of with Saber figures. And yeah, it just has like this elegant look to it that I really like. On top of that, we're also getting a Mash in a similar nature. She's wearing this nice dress. I think it looks really cute as well. But out of the 3 Fate figures they showed off, I think this one might be my favorite. I kind of just like Joan of Arc the most of these 3 characters, and I really like her hair sculpt. It has so much volume to it. It looks amazing. I'm not deep enough into the Fate rabbit hole to buy something like this, but I do like it. Honestly, I like all 3 of these. I think they all do have a lot of appeal to them. They also showed off a bunch of art cards, and while I'm just going to show a bunch of them on screen right now, I did want to focus on this one Mash figure where she's got this giant gun. I'm not exactly sure what this gun is because I don't follow Fate enough to know, but just thinking about this as a figure is insane. This thing is going to take up so much space, but it's probably going to look amazing once it's done. I'm really curious to see what this one looks like when it's finally out of just the art card and into a prototype. So I'm not too familiar with this next company, but Astrum Design had a few figures to show off. I really like the first one here, this scale figure of Luna, and actually while it's unpainted here, it is available to pre-order with full colored screenshots on AmiAmi. I love the colors on this one. The way her hair transitions from light purple to red at the tips, along with the blue jacket against the otherwise dark palette of the rest of the outfit really makes them pop. She's wearing sneakers, and along with those long legs covered in just leggings, she comes with a mask, which you could remove, but I think she looks much more interesting with the mask. She's really cheap too at only 15,000 yen. Honestly, this one's checking off a lot of boxes for me. I kind of like it. But anyway, back to the event. The next figure I have to talk about is Rainy Bluebell Uten. I think that's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure what she's holding. I think that's a microphone, but I'm assuming it's also raining. So is this like a pop star girl singing in the rain? I'm not really sure. Really love her outfit. Super cute. Love the skirt. Love the shoes. Not sure if I like the acrylic piece behind her. I think I could do without that, but otherwise I think this figure looks really nice as well. And then the last figure for this company is this Halloween succubus. Much more different than the other 2, a little bit less modern and trendy, just going for the Halloween theme. As far as the succubus design goes, I think this one is pretty good as well. Her outfit looks really sexy. Honestly, it doesn't even seem like she's wearing that much. There's a lot of skin exposed from the chest to the thighs, so you know, it's going to be a pretty lewd one. Love the pumpkins around it. The gate is a really interesting look as well as it curves around and it has the lantern attached to it. I think this one also looks good. This company seems to be putting out some nice looking figures. CA Works or Chara-Ani is next. First up, we have a Vladilena swimsuit version. Honestly, not digging her face. I feel like it looks a little bit off, but I do like the towel she's holding behind her. I think that is a nice touch for a swimsuit figure. Then we got 2 Snafu figures. The first one is Yukino in a casino party version. Basically a bunny girl, but working at a casino. Honestly, I like this motif. I think it's pretty interesting and a different take for the bunnies. Basically, her base is covered in gold. She's holding a bunch of chips, and the outfit overall looks pretty good. I like this one. But again, I feel like the face is a little off here. Similarly, Yui is also getting the same treatment. Her outfit is very different, and I like that she's wearing glasses in this one and holding poker cards instead. So they're putting Eris in a swimsuit from Mushoku Tensei, and I'm a bit mixed on this one. I think overall, the sculpt is very nice. I always have liked her cape or her cloak or whatever it is with the cat ears on top. I think that is a very cute look, and I like that it's being incorporated into this figure, though I never really wanted a swimsuit figure of her. So while I think technically this is turning out to be a pretty good figure, it's just not for me. Yui Kotogawa Sea Breeze Seaside version. This girl is from To Love Your Darkness. Never been the biggest fan of her. I mean, the sculpt is fine. It's a little boring. I mean, they just put Yui in some, like, idol outfit. Not sure if there's, like, a connection to a show or game that this is from. It's kind of boring to me. Not really the biggest fan. Okay, so more art cards. This time a Spice and Wolf Holo in, like, a kimono. Looks like it could be pretty cute. I like this outfit for Megumin. I think this could be a pretty cute figure if done well. And then we're getting a scale figure of Elena. Honestly, don't know anything about this character, but I like which outfits. I think this will look cute. Hoping it turns out good. Alumina showed up with one thing. They had another A to Z scale figure, this time of F01. And I'm definitely liking this one more than the one that went up for pre-order in January. I don't remember which letter that was. Loving the outfit this time around. The weapon seems to be pretty cool, though it kind of just looks like a standard sword, and I think she's got a gun behind her. I've never been one to be like super impressed by the A to Z line. I know a lot of people do really like them. For me, they're kind of just like nice, they're cool, but not like holy shit amazing kind of figures, you know what I mean? And finally, the last company I want to quickly talk about is Wing, who of course was at WonHobby, but even they had figures they just didn't end up showing in the gallery. First up is Princess Connect Redive's Ilya, and the sculpt on this one looks amazing. Honestly, one of the most visually interesting figures in the video so far. While I'm not really into this type of, say, outfit or base, I really do think this one is stunning so far. So many belts and straps, you'd think you're playing Kingdom Hearts or something. Overall, this figure is just packed to the brim with details. A lot that are pretty hard to even appreciate, like I'm fairly certain she's holding a giant axe of some kind, but this photo and her pose makes it really hard to get a good look. We do get to see some skulls sitting on the base though. Like I said, just so many details on this one. Makoto, also from Princess Connect Redive, is getting a summer version figure, basically a swimsuit, right? But if you notice, she's actually wearing a t-shirt that's completely drenched. Not something we've seen today in the sea of swimsuit figures. Once we get to the lower half, there's definitely a lot more going on with all the chains, straps, and even her huge tail taking up a large portion of the sides of this figure. Pretty good for the 40th swimsuit figure we've seen today. I kinda like this girl, Eriko, who's also from Princess Connect Redive. Crazy armor, a really interesting thorny tail, horns but one of them is broken. She's cute, I definitely want to see her painted. And let's wrap it up with Rem, a really basic Rem in 2022. But you know, it's not bad. I think if you just wanted a Rem figure that represents what the character normally looks like, this one's pretty alright. It's got a simple charm to it. It's a very cute pose they went with, just her lightly lifting her dress as if she's ready to greet you or something along those lines. Yeah, we didn't need this, but I mean if it's painted well, it could be better than the Good Smile one. Alright, I lied. I actually had one more from Wing. We've seen this one colored in the past, they just don't want to put it up for pre-order for some reason. This like Little Red Riding Hood wolf girl, super adorable. Honestly, could see myself buying this if it was cheap enough. I just love her outfit, the plushie she's holding onto is really cute as well, and not only is her hair sculpt really well done, but her purple eyes are just lovely. And that's gonna do it for the AmiAmi Hobby Camp. Had some computer problems at the worst time, but if you watched all the way up to this point, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Overall, this event just feels like the other half of WonFes we didn't get a week ago, so now that it's finally here on top of WonHobby, the events as a whole feel complete. I'm pretty content with all the announcements we got. Certainly there's plenty that I liked, but how much will I actually buy? I don't know, it's hard to say. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it as it does help me out a lot. Leave me a comment if you want to discuss anything mentioned in the video, and be sure to subscribe for more figure videos like this. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care. See you later.